Ref app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Are you ready for the best in Sooner football recruiting news? Then it's time to get locked in with Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
You better lock it up. You lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Whether you're a recruiting doomer or sunshine pumper, text the guys on the First Liberty Bank text line at 405-651-3439. And call your shot on the Riverwind Casino jackpot line at 405-329-9000.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Oh, yeah, it's a Thursday, folks, and we're getting ready for what's going to be a fantastic weekend of visitors in Norman, America, for the rendezvous that they are calling Future Freaks. That's right, Saturday, March the 7th, 48 hours from now. Oklahoma will have 24+ elite visitors from all across the country in town for the first big visit weekend, first real big visit weekend of calendar year 2026. Great opportunity for Oklahoma to really move the needle with some high-level prospects, some high-priority targets in the 27 cycle before official visit season. And that's really what today's show and tomorrow's show is going to be about, is projecting things that could happen, talking about some of the visitors on this visitor list for Saturday's festivities. And obviously, as we discussed yesterday, the momentum that Oklahoma already has on the recruiting trail with the recent pickup of Cooper Witten, the number 2 linebacker prospect in the 2027 cycle, and the additional momentum that they could generate with another couple of commits at least this weekend, should they be able to seal the deal with some of these cats that are already leaning in the Sooners' direction. We will, of course, keep you updated on the OU women's basketball game, which is currently being held in the SEC tournament. Oklahoma facing off with Florida, 12th-seeded Florida. Or I'm sorry, I guess it's technically the second round of the SEC tournament. First game that Oklahoma is playing in the tourney. Currently, as they get ready to go to the fourth quarter, Oklahoma leads Florida 65-45. So it would seem that one is well in hand for Jenny Baranczyk and company. Grayson Singleton, how we feeling on this Thursday?
You've been in this studio the last 2 hours. It is hot as all get out in here.
It is really hot.
It is.
It is really hot.
Go ahead.
I don't know why it's like that this time of year, but it gets to be what Jim Gaffigan would call boiling lava hot in that studio.
Yeah, it does. I'm doing good, man. How are you doing? You were fighting off some demons yesterday.
I definitely was. I think my immune system has done sufficient work to ward off imminent illness. I'm confident we're going to make it through the week.
There you go.
I believe it.
Just get to Sunday and recharge a little bit.
Not
and
even
we'll
that.
be
Just
ready
give me
to
to
go for
Friday.
Monday.
Just give me to Friday.
Okay.
A 405 listener on the First Liberty Bank text line, which is always available to you at 405-651-3439, says, the new intro mentions recruiting doomers. Surely there aren't any left with the way things are going. And yes, the doomers have been quiet lately, as you would expect, given that Oklahoma right now has the number 1 and or number 2 recruiting class in the country for the 27 cycle, depending on which recruiting service you follow. Any way you slice it, Oklahoma's recruiting very effectively. 14 verbal commits already on board for the Sooners, and there should be more before long. There should very well be more in the boat, potentially by this time next week if things go a certain way on the Future Freaks weekend. The show is brought to you today and every day by Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno. Dorsey Jones is family-owned and operated and staffed with experienced folks that are eager to serve you before, during, and after the buying process. They also offer phenomenal service as well, including half-price oil changes on Saturdays. So head out to El Reno, check in with the good folks at Dorsey Jones. And Grayson, I think we've spent the majority of the week to this point talking about the guys whose names most everyone knows that are going to be here over the weekend. Guys like Jamison Roberts, Oklahoma's quarterback target, over whom there's been a lot of ink spilled since he first picked up the offer back in November. We've talked about a guy like Jalen Scott quite a bit, the 4-star safety out of Mobile that's leaning heavily in Oklahoma's direction. Guys like the offensive linemen from the state of Kansas, Gus Corsair and Tyson Ross. Corsair out of Hayes, Ross out of Andover. But there are also several visitors this weekend that will be making their first trip to Norman. Several guys that are going to be on campus for Future Freaks that have never before touched down on the campus of the illustrious University of Oklahoma and will be checking things out for the first time. One such player is a guy that we are featuring today as our recruit of the day here on Locked In.
And that is brought to you by Keystone Property Management. Discover your next home with Keystone Property Management in Oklahoma City, offering 3-bed and 2.5-bath townhomes in Edmond Town Center and spacious single-family homes in Oklahoma City and Edmond. They got options available to fit your needs, so contact Drew at 405-368-1836 or visit KeystonePMOK.com.
All right, recruit of the day. Who do we got?
Let's go with this guy named Gideon Gash.
Ooh, good player.
Very good player. 4-star guy out of Detroit. Detroit Catholic High School, I believe is what it's called. His school. He's already 6'3", 200 pounds as well.
Big old boy.
Plays wide receiver, plays corner.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they are recruiting him as a corner, to my understanding.
This is true.
But I got to say, man, watching that film screams anything but corner. He's a really good corner. He plays corner. But when you look at that and you look at his size, that thing either screams safety or that screams cheetah for a guy like him, because he has linebacker-ish type of traits, but also has the fluidity, lower body-wise, to play corner. He also plays wide receiver, which gives him good ball skills, and he's really good at tracking the ball, which the combination of that, to me, I don't know about you, Parker, screams safety. Like, I think this dude, and maybe he could be a good college corner, I think this dude could be an all-conference type of safety. Looking at his makeup, looking at his skills, looking at the way he plays, corner seems good, safety seems better for me.
I'll tell you, it's an interesting predicament here because Gideon Gash is a really, really good prospect.
He's an awesome player.
Yes. Excellent player, top 100 prospect in the country, according to Rivals, and somebody that has quite a robust offer sheet, to say the very least. Now, he's got 2 older brothers at Michigan State, one of whom, Samson, just signed with the Spartans as a 4-star wide receiver in the 2026 cycle. Chose Michigan State over Penn State, over Alabama. He had some big-time opportunities and chose to sign with the in-state school, and not even the more prestigious in-state school. Michigan State is where the Gash family has roots right now. He's got the 2 older brothers there, and so you would think that puts Michigan State in a pretty strong position to be able to pick up his commitment as well. But, as we know, the brother connection isn't always deterministic when it comes to recruiting. Some brothers wind up playing together. Some brothers want to play together. Some, especially when you get to the younger brothers are just kind of wired this way. Some of them want to do their own thing. And so might Gideon Gash be the type of guy that wants to do his own thing. He very well could be. But it was first reported by my colleague Brandon Drum over at OUinsider.com that Gideon Gash was going to be visiting this weekend. And the full visitor list for Future Freaks is posted up at OUinsider.com. So if you're curious, you got questions about who all is going to be on campus this weekend, that will give you a comprehensive rundown of everybody that Oklahoma is expecting. But Gideon Gash is somebody that I think when you look at the tape, there's a pretty intriguing case for him to be an offensive guy at the next level, and there's an intriguing case for him to be a defensive guy at the next level. I don't have it figured out right now. Like if I am watching that tape, if I'm evaluating him as a player, I'm not at all sure where I want him to be.
Really?
I'm not.
Okay.
I think you talked about the potential of safety. You talked about the potential of cheetah. the reason he's visiting this weekend is because he has a pre-existing relationship with new Oklahoma corners coach Lamar Morgan.
Yep.
And the film at receiver is really impressive as well. And so I don't necessarily know what you do with a guy like this, and that's okay. Somebody who's that athletic and that sizable is going to be able to fit somewhere. So this might be, like, to me, this might be the type of guy that you just take as an athlete and figure it out when he shows up. Figure out once he shows up, starts working out, starts going through practice, starts going through the motions with the team, what he's most comfortable doing and where he fits best given the balance of talent and depth already on your roster. But I also am not at all sure, like, where does Gideon Gash fit in this class? If you're taking him for a specific position, like let's say at this point, because we talked about the connection with Lamar Morgan, let's say Oklahoma wants to take him at corner. How do you fit a guy like that into the picture when you already have two commits in Michael Davis and Mikhail McCreary, outstanding cornerbacks in their own right, and you are at the top or dang near the top for Gabe Osborne, Juju Johnson, and Trenton Blaylock? You don't say no to Gideon Gash. But
no.
You don't say no to that guy.
No.
But you also have to understand if things start to heat up with a guy like this, you're going to have to be willing to probably sacrifice at least another recruitment or two on the altar of the pursuit of Gideon Gash. And so are you comfortable doing that at cornerback? You comfortable telling a guy like Trenton Blaylock, hey, thanks but no thanks, we're going to focus on this kid from up in Michigan? Or do you kind of pivot the philosophy and start to target him more as a safety or more as a wide receiver? Wide receiver, I think, is particularly interesting because you have two commits right now at the position that are soft at best in Trayvon Hall and Damari DeJean. Would anyone right now consider it anything remotely resembling a sure thing that those two guys sign with Oklahoma?
No.
Not
at all.
Absolutely not. And so the one guy that's going to be on campus this weekend that isn't committed yet, but you feel really good about Oklahoma being able to land is Graydon Howell. But Graydon Howell's a 5'11", maybe 6 foot type of a slot receiver. Right? He's a slot guy, maybe a Z guy at the next level. Gideon Gash is a big-bodied prospect. You talked about the measurables, 6'3", virgin on 6'4", 200 pounds. That's your traditional X type of wide receiver, right? That's not something Oklahoma has in the class right now. And so I'm not really sure how this all fits together. Just looking at the visitor list, I mean, we're talking about first world problems here. We're talking about Oklahoma having too many options.
Yes.
Too many viable options for only a certain number of spots. So
right.
It's radically different from the conversations many were having, the questions that many had at this time last year when you're trying to figure out which direction Oklahoma could go or needed to go when it wasn't at all apparent who was even on the board.
Yeah, you were talking about filling spots and not, getting rid of people to make spots.
A 405 listener asks, is Gash, I think you mean, similar to RSJ coming out of high school?
Sure.
Vaguely.
I can see where you're coming from.
Colin Claremore said, as I said, make him the most athletic Mike in the nation. Cole, the most athletic Mike in the nation is going to be either Cooper Witten or Taven Epps. Oklahoma has two highly athletic linebackers already committed in the 2027 class.
Yeah.
I don't get the sense that they are actively hunting a third.
But you were going back to the conversation of how do you make the numbers work if you're recruiting Gideon Gash? If you want to take all those corners and not sacrifice your relationships with them and you still want to bring him on board as a safety or bring him on board as a wide receiver. I think he likely projects to the defensive side of the ball, and I just think he's got such good instincts and fluidity that he could play safety. That way, you could take him and then not run afoul with the rest of the corners that you've been pursuing through this whole process. So, to me, that's if I were in charge, that's how I would make the numbers work if it was up to me.
I think this is somebody that you make it very, very clear to everybody else in the class if this pursuit does go somewhere. And we're talking about a world 2-3 months down the road where Oklahoma is in line to get this kid. I think you take him as an athlete. You tell him you're an athlete. We'll figure it out when you get here. And I think you make that reality very clear to everybody else in the class so as not to inadvertently ward off anybody that might be threatened by his presence in the class. I think that does you good on multiple fronts. But here's the evaluation from Gideon Gash, courtesy of my On3 colleague Charles Power, who's one of the best in the business in the evaluation department. And I quote, Gash is the epitome of an athlete prospect. He has the potential to play upwards of maybe 5 positions at the college level just with his combination of size and athleticism and breadth of skills. He's a big athlete at around 6'4" and plays receiver and corner for his high school team. He shows very good overall athleticism and the ability to make big plays. He's a walk-down defender and really has outstanding cover skills for such a big prospect. We could see him potentially lining up as a safety, linebacker, or corner on defense. He has the skill set to be a receiver or tight end prospect on offense. He's a true athlete in that sense and is hyper versatile. It's yet to be seen where he'll end up positionally, but we're very high on the overall football player. I'm looking forward to seeing how he continues to develop. We'll be tracking his position projection closely, but there's a bunch of upside. He's a high-end, very versatile high school football player who has several pathways to success at the college level, end quote. So again, there's a lot you can do with a kid like this.
All bets are off as to what he's going to play.
The real question is, can you get real traction this weekend? Because naturally, Michigan State is going to be tough to overcome with the family connection, and there are plenty of other schools on the offer sheet, powerhouse schools closer to home for Gash that are going to prioritize him as well. By the way, a couple of expert predictions already in from Steve Wiltfong and Greg Smith of Rivals.com, projecting that Gideon Gash does sign with the Spartans of Michigan State. So, can Oklahoma make a move? It's important. If you're going to do it with this kid, it has to start. It has to really start to happen. It has to take root this weekend when he gets on campus. You got to put yourself in position for an official visit. You can get on that official visit slate for a kid like Ash. All bets are off. We've seen Oklahoma win some unexpected battles during OV season. Remember Derek Johnson last year, for instance?
Yep.
So get him back to town for an OV, get the opportunity to have him walk the red carpet, and things could start to shake. But you got to do enough this weekend to earn that spot on the OV slate. All right, folks, First Liberty Bank text line is 405-651-3439. Bank like a champion with First Liberty Bank. Text like a champion during the break. And we'll hit some of your questions, comments, feedback on the other side. This is Locked In on the Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Locked In is brought to you every day by Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno. Dorsey Jones GMC is family-owned and operated with a knowledgeable, low-pressure sales staff here to help you through the buying process and half-price oil changes on Saturdays. Visit dorsey-jonesgmc.com for more information.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland & Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
Winning in business means having the right teammate. Stride Bank's commercial banking experts are here with treasury management, lending, and cash flow solutions designed to help your business score big. From local startups to established enterprises, we've got the tools and expertise you need. Visit stridebank.com. Stride Bank, member FDIC. Stride Bank on your team since 1913 with Oklahoma roots and nationwide reach.
They say if you don't like the weather in Oklahoma, wait 5 minutes and check it again. Nope, not there yet. Ah, that's more like it. Being comfortable is important, and if it's -5 degrees or 100 degrees, Norman Air has you covered. Our impeccable quality and unbeatable service is what sets us apart from our competitors. It's just part of our mission to keep Oklahoma comfortable. Visit normanair.com for all your heating, air, plumbing, and electrical needs. Norman Air, service to the max.
Racing season is here at Remington Park. Giddy up and let's go racing. Thursday through Saturday with first post time at 6 p.m. Come feel the fastest fun around. Remington Park has the winning experience for everyone. Their casino is open 24 hours a day, and new members earn up to $50 of free play. Explore the excitement of the Oklahoma City casino scene with top games, dining, and entertainment options available. Remington Park Racing and Casino. Call 405-424-1000 or visit remingtonpark.com.
The Mont invites you to come by and enjoy our high-quality food and drinks in our historic atmosphere. The Mont has won numerous awards, including Best Restaurant in Norman, Best Appetizer for our great queso, Best Exotic Drink for the original swirl, the Best Patio Dining for our beautifully landscaped patio. Come see the Town Tavern OU football scoreboards dating back to 1947. We'll see you at the Mont on the corner of Boyd and Classen, or call us at 329-3330.
Somewhere there's a river rushing through the woods while someone rushes through their day. There's a mountain looking up at the sky while someone looks down at their phone. A trail waiting to be walked while someone waits for a latte. This world is full of somewheres waiting for someone just like you. So go see yours at 154 national forests and 20 grasslands. And to learn more, visit nationalforest.org. The National Forest Foundation. See your somewhere.
Hands are how we give. Hands are how we receive. To lend a hand and to hand it off. Hands are how we transform and how we redistribute. Our community needs a helping hand these days, and the United Way of Norman is there to offer it. From emergency services to vocational programs to grief counseling for the youth, the United Way connects your gift with the programs that will have the greatest impact on improving the lives of everyone in the community. Make your donation today and raise your hand for your community. Learn how you can give United at unitedwaynorman.org.
Hey, it's Darian Oka for Totally Tickets. Hey, Ref Army, you looking for the best place to buy tickets to your next OU game, Thunder game, or the best concerts? My friend Mike, call him Fletch at Totally Tickets has you covered. Visit TotallyTickets.com to find your event today. Oh, and good news, Ref Army, just type in the promo code KREF and get up to 10% off your purchase. Go to TotallyTickets.com now. They are the best.
The NCAA eligibility battles these days. They're like the Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. They never really end. Even when it seems like they're over, they're somehow not over. Per Pete Thamel of ESPN, the NCAA is appealing the Trinidad Chambliss preliminary injunction, which granted him eligibility, of course, for 2026, in a 658-page filing to the Mississippi State Supreme Court today. The NCAA is asking the court to overrule the injunction and expedite the ruling. Look, Grayson, I don't claim to be a legal expert at all. Let me just get that disclaimer out of the way now. I did a mock trial as a prosecuting attorney when I was 13 years old. I'm pretty sure.
Wait, you did that too?
Is that something you did?
Yeah.
Wow. We have much more in common than I even realized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did about 8th grade, yeah.
Yeah. I probably, 7th, 8th grade, something like that. I did a mock trial. I think outside of that, and when I was an intern at KETV in Omaha in the summer of 2019, I was present for a hearing with a reporter who was covering some court case. I can't even remember what the case was, but I was present in the room for a hearing. And I think those are the only 2 times in my life I've ever been in a courtroom.
Yeah, I haven't been in a courtroom
I have
since.
zero expertise here whatsoever. But is this just how it goes once something gets adjudicated in the legal system? A decision comes down, and then one party appeals, and then another decision comes down, and then the other party appeals. Like, how long are we going to end up playing this game of ping pong before it ends?
I don't know. I mean, hell, Alex Murdaugh is still appealing some of his convictions, and that was like 5 years ago that they put him away. So I don't know.
Like, if the Mississippi State Supreme Court rules in favor of the NCAA, which, let's be honest, not likely. Probably stacked with Ole Miss grads. If they rule in favor of the NCAA, is Ole Miss going to counter-appeal? You'd think so.
Probably. Here's what I want to know, and here's what I never understand about the legal system. What the hell is in this 658-page filing?
That's a lot of pages.
To determine somebody's eligibility. You need that much information?
That's a book. That's a book and a half
That's like,
right
I'll
there.
say that's 2 of them.
Holy smokes.
Like.
To be the judge that has to read all 658 of those pages.
Like, and isn't this over like a respiratory illness or something like that? That
it was like bronchitis.
Yeah, that
bronchitis
prohibited Trinidad from
or tonsillitis.
Tonsillitis, yeah. What do we need 700 pages for? What is in this?
Oh, Trinidad Chambliss, regardless of what type of career he winds up having at the professional level, if any, regardless of the trajectory of his life thereafter, Trinidad Chambliss will never be a hotter commodity than he is right now. Ole Miss and the NCAA are fighting an actual war over this man.
I'm not going to lie. This is actually starting to be kind of funny. At this point, it's just comical.
Recruiting Boomer says, LMAO mock trial. I went through a real trial. State of Oklahoma against me. Well, did you win, Recruiting Boomer?
And what did you allegedly do?
Did you take down the state of Oklahoma? Or did the state take you down? Puerto Rican Sooner says, I've finished The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix, so I'm practically an honorary lawyer. Yes, weigh in with your legal expertise. Please.
I watched Designated Survivor. Does that count? Does that say I'm qualified for president?
Yeah, more or less. That's how it goes these days.
Have you seen Designated Survivor?
I haven't seen it, no, but I'm familiar with it.
Okay. It's a good show. Off-script sports on the YouTube chat says, I work in law enforcement, Parker. My experience with law is basically if one side has the money to do something, damn it, they're going to do it.
That's fair. Holy smokes, we received a text from a listener in Canada. Should we take it? Should we let the Canadians participate in this show?
What do you have against Canadians?
What do Canadians play Canadian football, which is really an entirely different sport. If you ever watch the CFL,
yes, I have.
They've got some weird quirks.
It's a wild change.
But
yeah.
hey, you know what? We don't discriminate on this show, so we will read this text despite the fact that it comes from Canada.
I got a lot of friends from Canada, I'm cool with the Canadians.
We won the gold medal in hockey, so we have the air of superiority moving forward. So you know what? We will grant the Canadians a voice on this show. This texter from British Columbia.
Wow, okay.
Says, guys, why not give Gash food for thought with a Travis Hunter comparison? Play both sides of the ball and let his on-field play dictate his right position.
Okay, so this is, I do not mean this to say, I do not want to make you feel like that's a stupid question, because it's not.
There is no such thing as a stupid question, even when it comes from Canada.
Wow. But I will say this. We do not need to be advertising, hey, come be the next Travis Hunter to people. There's only one of those people, and if there's going to be another one, it's not going to come 2 years after the other one. So, no.
There's only one Travis Hunter. There will only ever be one Travis Hunter. Isn't there like a Michael Phelps thing going on there where he's got some sort of biological advantage that enables him to be on the football field? Enables him to have way more stamina on the football field than anybody else. I don't know if it's lung capacity or I don't know enough about anatomy either. But Travis Hunter, there's something physiologically different about Travis Hunter that has enabled him to play both sides of the ball. It's not just that he's extremely athletic. To play both sides of the ball, to play 100-plus snaps in a football game, you have to have insane stamina.
Yeah. And he's probably not going to be playing both sides of the ball very long in the NFL, too.
Yeah.
Sooner Fish says, that was random as hell, Grayson, my Alex Murdaugh reference. You just watched the Netflix documentary or something? Okay, good question, because when I was at home for Christmas break, my little sister, who is 17, was watching it on HBO Max. My little sister loves these type of things. It actually scares the hell out of me that she likes this kind of stuff. She's been watching this since she was like 14. But yeah, she was watching the Murdaugh documentaries. Pretty messed up individual.
Your sister or Alex Murdaugh?
Alex Murdaugh, not my sister.
Just want to clarify. A little bit ambiguous the way you phrased it. Just want to make sure you weren't throwing shade at the sister.
No, I love my sister.
Oh, man. Dr. H says, I'll take Dr. H's word for it on this. He might have just asked Grok, but I would have no way of knowing. Dr. H says, they can't counter-appeal the state Supreme Court. That's the final ruling unless the federal courts pick it up.
That's actually a good, I don't know, like, I knew that.
All right, so we'll tune back in when this is being adjudicated in the United States Supreme Court.
If it goes to the Supreme Court, the NCAA, college football is the biggest soap opera in the world at that point.
It already is, let's be real.
That's probably true. Brad from Mustang, if it's 658 pages, that means it's actually 25 pages of words. Legal words is like 20 words to one word.
Dude, legalese is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Like, lawyers are insanely gifted when it comes to stretching 2 sentences or what could be communicated in 2 sentences into 20.
Yes.
But
this is why you have lawyers read contracts.
But yeah, hey, that's how they make everything ironclad.
Yeah.
If you're explicit enough about everything, there are no loopholes to be found.
Sean says, is there anything more meathead than Future Freaks recruiting weekend, yet so very on brand for Oklahoma football?
I don't know if that's meathead. Does that come across as meathead to you?
It doesn't come across as meathead. But Future Freaks, that might be, in this day and age, you might want to change that one.
Yeah, post-Diddy, that's probably a little... There's probably a little too much room for interpretation there. 405-651-3439.
What are we judging vernacular based on pre-Diddy and post-Diddy?
Basically, yes. Man, 405-651-3439 is the First Liberty Bank text line. Where were we before we got completely off the rails?
Jeez.
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Future Freaks. That's what we were talking about. That's what the weekend is called. We're going to refer to it as such. They may rename it next year or the year after that, or maybe they never will. But that's what's on tap for this weekend. Oklahoma's going to have 24+ visitors in town, for Future Freaks.
Going to town?
We spent the first segment talking about Gideon Gash. Another guy I want to bring up here that, per my colleague at Rivals, the indomitable Steve Wiltfong, is a guy with whom Oklahoma's in pretty strong shape, is defensive lineman Sion Felila out of the state of California. 3-star kid. 6'2", 310 pounds. Hesperia, California. Oak Hills High School. 6'2", 310. Who does that remind you of?
6'3", 210.
6'2", 310.
Oh, yeah. Jaden Jackson?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
6'2", 310. That's almost exactly the Jaden Jackson measurables. So I haven't done enough homework yet on Sion Felila. I have not had the chance to watch his junior tape. But this is a guy that just very recently picked up an offer from Oklahoma and is not super out there about his whole process. So it's tough to tell. It's tough to know just off the rip where Oklahoma stands there. But they'll get him on campus. They'll have a chance to make a move. And Oklahoma's push out west continues, man, as we discussed yesterday. Whether or not they can hang on to Damari DeJean remains to be seen. That's going to be challenging. But they have 3 other commits from the state of California in Taven Epps, Elijah Harmon, and Jackson Stokes. And they're not done. They're not done with their push out west. They got a California kid coming in this weekend in Felila that's uncommitted. They got a Utah kid coming in this weekend in Bodie Sparrow that's uncommitted. They got an Arizona kid as well. You don't know who the Arizona kid is? Again, I would point you to OUinsider.com where the full visit list is posted, but I do wonder if we're going to get a surprise. It's not going to shock anybody if somebody like Jamison Roberts commits, or Corsair, Tyson Ross, Jalen Scott, all the guys that we've talked about repeatedly on this show. But, like, what if this is the type of weekend where Oklahoma just gets one out of nowhere? this happens from time to time. I would say at least 2 or 3 times a cycle. Last year, remember when Daniel Odom committed to Oklahoma?
Uh-huh.
How stunning and out of the blue that was?
Yep.
But not only did he commit, man, Oklahoma made that thing stick. He committed in January. Yeah, he flirted with a couple other schools for a little while there, but he wound up signing in December. So even though it can be difficult to buy in sometimes when you get a surprise commit like that, it can be difficult to make yourself believe that this is going to be able to stick with this kid. Oklahoma's demonstrated the ability to do it. Honestly, Jaden Jackson is another kid that very much fits that bill. Yeah. He visited Oklahoma once before he committed. It was the OV, and that was it. He was sold. And so I wonder who on Monday we're going to be talking about, because I bet it'll be somebody. I bet we'll be talking about somebody that we don't expect to be talking about right now. Trayvon Hall, there you go. Very recent example. Trayvon Hall committed December 1st. I do believe. November 30th, December 1st. It was right on the heels of that LSU game. And it was his very first visit to campus. And, okay, you fast forward 3 months, and you're not at all sure whether the Trayvon Hall commitment is going to stick. And that's fair. But this staff, man, they get these guys in the building, and they can work out their salesmanship, and they can have guys like Stacey Ford sit across the table from these guys and give them the good word when it comes to the University of Oklahoma. They can pop a surprise or two. Be curious to see whether they can pull that off this weekend.
Joey Dean on the YouTube chat says, or asks, any word on Noah Prince? Any chance OU's looking at him?
Ooh, so Noah Prince, edge rusher out of Bishop Moore Catholic down in Orlando. OU is aware of him. And I mentioned this earlier in the week, but I think it's a very distinct possibility that depending on need, depending on positions of need, depending on whether there is any need, Oklahoma may camp some guys in June in the 27 class that they feel are capable of earning an offer. If you rewind to the 26 cycle, Oklahoma had a guy that camped in June, didn't earn an offer at that point, but he did later on and wound up signing. That was Christian Moore out of Selma, Alabama. To me, Noah Prince is absolutely one of those guys because I know Oklahoma's aware of him, very aware of him. I don't think he's an offer guy right now. I don't think Oklahoma gets involved right now or in the near future. But if you told me Noah Prince is going to show up to Norman for an elite camp in the month of June, A, I could buy that, and B, I could maybe also buy that he picks up an offer. If Oklahoma's in a position at that point to extend a new offer and take a new commitment at defensive end. A lot of Jake Krell similarities there. He's not the same player that Jake Krell is. Jake Krell is very special. But Noah Prince is a good football player. Somebody that's going to play FBS, I would say going to play P4 ball. Is that going to be at Oklahoma? We shall see. I think that's somebody that probably has to camp to earn his offer.
A texter in the 316, that's the state of Kansas, says, White Stephen A. is on one today. Take away the cold meds.
Oh, come on. I guess I was the one who drove this show off the rails there for a few minutes. I do have to wear that one.
A texter in the 918 asks, did Grayson sleep with one eye open with his sister around? No, she's pretty docile. I don't need to do that with her.
We have another Canadian listener that texted us. What's wrong with the occasional rouge in a football game? What even is the rouge? I'm familiar with the term. I couldn't tell you what it actually is.
I was about to say, define that for me.
I have to research the rouge in the break. Got to do my homework on Canadian football. 405-651-3439. That's the First Liberty Bank text line. We have one final segment of Locked In to talk OU football and recruiting and potentially other nonsense based on whatever we get from y'all on the First Liberty Bank text line. So
you brought up Diddy.
I did bring up Diddy. I'll take responsibility for that. Hand up. That got us down a rabbit hole. We're going to do our best to stick to ball next. Keep it here on the Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
This is your home for Sooner fans. The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Entrepreneurs in Moore, Norman, and South Oklahoma City have an experienced business partner in their neighborhood. Moore Norman Technology Center's workforce and economic development team understands the challenges entrepreneurs and small businesses face every day. From building an effective business model to hiring the right employees and managing cash flow, Moore Norman's business development experts can help you move forward confidently and thrive, knowing that you have a skilled partner at your side. Learn more about Moore Norman's Technology Center by calling 405-801-5000 or visit us online at mntc.edu.
Hey, sports fans, ready for a show that's got more energy than a Friday night kickoff? The Sooner Theater presents 42nd Street, the musical, March 5th through the 8th, featuring an all-star cast of talented high school students. It's fast-paced, tap-filled, and packed with Broadway-style excitement that'll have you cheering from your seat. Catch the action live at the Sooner Theater, 101 East Main Street in Norman. Tickets are on sale now at SoonerTheater.org. Don't miss 42nd Street, where the stage is the playing field.
Good times are calling your name at the Showplace Theater with acts like Randy Rogers Band, April 17th. Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners, April 24th. Don Felder, April 25th. And Earth, Wind & Fire, May 9th. Riverwind is OKC's favorite casino experience.
Hey there, Ref Army, it's Dorinoka, name coming up. Host of the Dorinoka Show and lead anchor of the SEC Network. Catch Josh Helmer and myself every weekday, 9 to noon, as we'll talk everything OU and the SEC. No better way to listen to us, 9 to noon, than by downloading the KREF app, powered by Warren Cat. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store, search for KREF, and you'll never miss a show, no matter what, no matter where you go. That's the KREF app, presented by Warren Cat. Whatever the job, whatever it takes.
Are you ready for spring sports season? Gear up like a champion with Balfour & Norman's exclusive apparel for OU softball, baseball, and gymnastics. From the diamond to the gym, we've got the latest shirts, hats, and fan gear that show your Sooner pride in style. Whether you're cheering in the stands or repping your team around town, Balfour of Norman has you covered. Visit us today on Campus Corner or online at crimsonproud.com. Balfour of Norman, where you'll find everything Sooner.
At Armstrong Bank, your business isn't just business to us, it's personal. Our bankers are invested in your success, and we're ready to build a relationship that lasts. You deserve a strong financial partner by your side. Together, we can help make your business even stronger with products and services designed for your convenience. To learn more, visit a location near you or visit armstrong.bank. Armstrong Bank, strength runs in our family. Member FDIC.
Are you searching for a fun night out and new friends? Check out Heyday's $10 After 10. Every Saturday after 10 p.m., enjoy unlimited bowling on the 21 and over lanes for just $10. Plus, during spring break, March 16th to the 22nd, score unlimited activities and an hour of bowling for only $25. Also, Heyday offers an all-you-can-eat buffet for only $7.99 until 2 p.m. Heyday, where you choose your fun. Visit heydayfun.com for details.
This is Jake Aldridge, partner at Aldridge Teasdale. We know accidents happen when you least expect them, but if you're injured, your path to recovery and justice starts with the right attorney by your side. At Aldridge Teasdale, we understand that every injury is personal and that every story matters. You deserve an advocate who will fight for you. But don't wait. If you need medical assistance, you need to get it now, and we can help you with access to the best doctors in Oklahoma. Call Aldridge Teasdale today, 405-447-HURT. That's 405-447-4878.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510.
On the First Liberty Bank text line, 405-651-3439, Bob from Cement said, Miss Cement had a Future Freaks weekend for us in 1992. Bob, I'm sure you felt like a five-star that weekend.
I was going to say, Bob, y'all be getting down. I see it.
He said, y'all be getting down.
You know, Bob kind of sometimes makes me uncomfortable with some of his texts. You know, like the ones that we can't read on the air.
Uh-huh.
About Miss Cement.
Yeah, that's the point.
I know it is, but it's like, hey, yo.
Oh, 580 Trey hit us up on the text line. I'm curious who you guys think has more upside, Bo Bentley or Jamison Roberts? Good question, 580 Trey. Here's what I would say. Let me tell you what I think, Grayson. You tell me if you concur.
Okay.
I would say if we're talking upside, Bentley has more upside because I think he's a better athlete.
Yes.
The way I would look at this is I think Jamison Roberts is the higher floor guy. I think Bo Bentley is the higher ceiling guy. So pick your poison. You know, the thing with Bo is he's very Jackson Arnold adjacent, as we have discussed, which is going for, like, it's going to be tough for some people to swallow that. It's going to be tough for some people to get on board with that and buy into Bo Bentley because of how the Jackson Arnold fiasco went down at Oklahoma. And it was kind of a fiasco for those 2 years. Now, Bo Bentley is not Jackson Arnold. I'm not at all suggesting his career is going to mirror that of Jackson Arnold. But when you turn on the Bo Bentley tape and then you turn on the Jackson Arnold Denton Geyer tape, there's a lot of similarities there. And Bentley is also somebody, and this is why I see him as the lower floor guy than Roberts and why he's a little bit more of a gamble, if you will. He has not played quarterback very long at all. He has only played quarterback, in fact, for 2 seasons. Now, Roberts, like Bentley, didn't start until his junior year of high school, but he's been playing quarterback for a lot longer. Bo has played quarterback for only 2 years. So, again, pick your poison. You want to bank on that? You want to bet against that? There's a case for both. You can look at Bo Bentley's high school tape and say, man, if he's already at that level, having only played quarterback for 2 years, I'll take a gamble on that guy. Give me that dude. Let's see what that dude can do in an Oklahoma uniform with the type of coaching he's going to get from Ben Arbuckle and the type of skill position weapons he's going to have in a place like Oklahoma. Or you can look at it as, okay, he's a superior athlete. He's clearly got some arm talent. He's a dominant player in the Texas high school ranks. But when he gets to the next level with as inexperienced as he is relative to some of his peers in playing the quarterback position, he's going to run into some things scheme-wise and nuance-wise that he hasn't seen or had to deal with before, and that could be a substantial obstacle for him. 2 sides of every coin here. It's just a matter of whether you want to bank on the upside, bet on the upside, or whether you want to bet on what is more of a sure thing, I think, in a guy like Jamison Roberts, who doesn't have as high of a ceiling, in my mind, but has a much higher floor.
And the comparison you draw to Jackson Arnold is an appropriate one because, yeah, Jackson bottomed out, but the presence of the ultra-high ceiling is still there. Basically, what's going on here is, do you want to play it safe or do you want to have more of a potential payout with larger risk? And that's what you get with Bo Bentley. Here's how I think of it. You've got the ceiling, and those of you on YouTube can see what my hands are doing, but you've got the ceiling and you've got the floor for Bo Bentley. And somewhere squished in the middle is a condensed area of variance for Jamison Roberts. You know what you're going to get from him, and it's probably going to be more consistent. As for Bo, it's a shot in the dark. It could be down, it could be up, just like Jackson Arnold. So, to me, when you break down a situation like this, it is, okay, do you want the guy that you know what you're getting from? Do you want what Kyle Shanahan likes to do with his quarterbacks? They're not going to be spectacular, but they're not going to stink. Or do you want a dude like a Josh Allen, right? Where he could be really, really bad. Remember those first couple years of his career?
Oh, my goodness.
Or he could be the MVP of the league.
Even just the discourse on Josh Allen when he was coming out of Wyoming as a draft prospect.
Well, I mean, there was that, and there were also his tweets when he was 14.
Yes, which is a different can of worms entirely. But you couldn't help but wonder, is Josh Allen going to be really good, or is he going to be a crash out?
Yes.
Josh Rosen was the one from that draft class that wound up being the crash out, which it's such a dicey game with quarterbacks.
It really is.
Because so much of it is mental. So much of playing that position is mental.
Yeah.
And you never really know, and it's hard to tell sometimes, who's going to just hit a wall and stop progressing. And this happens for some guys. Like, you could not have convinced me. You could not have convinced me. You could not have convinced a ton of people in the industry that had watched him all throughout his senior year at Denton Guyer in 2022. You could not have convinced me 4 years ago that Jackson Arnold was going to be playing at UNLV in the year of our Lord 2026.
Mm-hmm.
That was not on the bingo card. Nowhere close to it. But somewhere along the line, he hit a wall. And this is where that's led him. UNLV. 405-651-3439 is the First Liberty Bank text line if you want to fire a question or a comment at us before we wrap up here. I saw this on Twitter courtesy of friend of the program, Mike Brooks. I thought this was a really good point. Well, it was a question. It was a rhetorical question in a sense. But I couldn't help wondering, like, is there an answer to this? I wonder if we could find out the answer to this. And he's in an elite fraternity regardless of what the answer is. But Mike Brooks via Twitter.com asked, is there anyone else on the planet who can run an electronic 4.340 and also bench 225 pounds 26 times?
Yeah, because that's
the way
what
that
Deion Burks did.
That is, like, that level of athleticism, you are in the 1% of the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah.
I'm eager to see what he does at the next level, man, because the numbers didn't blow you away at Oklahoma. The production didn't blow you away at Oklahoma. But healthy Deion Burks has always been one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the country. He just wasn't healthy nearly enough during his time at Oklahoma to really strut his stuff. That's crazy, though. And I hadn't considered that, but how many other players do you think there have ever been at the NFL Combine or in general, pro day, any setting of that ilk, that have gone 4.3 in the 40 and benched 26 times at 225 pounds?
I would just like to bench 20 times of 225.
Wouldn't we all?
I know, right?
Good grief. Bo in Murray County says, Bentley is mateer in JFA's body. Is that what we're hearing? You'd hope so.
In a roundabout way, kind of.
You'd hope so. That's kind of the best of both worlds, right?
Well,
John Mateer's brain, Jackson Arnold's arm talent and mobility.
Is John Mateer's brain the compliment that you think it is? I mean, sure, he's a smart kid, but he was seeing some stuff on the field that didn't lead to some good stuff sometimes.
Oh, no, like, he made mistakes. Yeah, he absolutely made mistakes. But he wasn't a sheer liability in that department the way that Jackson Arnold was when he was at Oklahoma.
That is true. OU Mitchell says, whatever we do, let's abstain from giving them nicknames before they've proven themselves. JFA was appropriate, but we just didn't know it stood for foe.
Jackson Foe Arnold. Colin Claremore with a scoop for us on the text line. Can confirm that the Caleb Dillard kid from Jenks will not be going to OU. They could have had him long ago if they truly wanted him. And, yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like there's going to be much traction moving forward between OU and Caleb Dillard. Which, at the outset, when they offered him, you'd have figured, okay, Oklahoma's going to have a good shot with a kid from within state lines. And then he released his spring visit schedule. And he's visiting a bunch of places, including Miami, including Texas. I think Michigan is on the visit list. The illustrious University of Oklahoma is nowhere to be found.
Oh, man.
So, I don't know who the third safety is going to be in this class. I don't know if there's going to be a third safety in this class. But Oklahoma looks good for Jalen Scott right now, and they look good for Bodie Sparrow. If they want to take a third, doesn't seem like it's going to be Caleb Dillard, and also doesn't seem like it's going to be Samaj Stanford at this rate.
Really? Neither of them?
I would not project Samaj Stanford into Oklahoma's class.
I know we haven't talked about Bryson Brown a whole lot, the other Broken Arrow safety. Where do you project him to be?
Like where he's going to sign?
Like what kind? Like what tier of school?
He's probably like a Big 12 guy.
Okay.
I think he's probably a Big 12 football player.
Ain't no shame in that.
No, not at all. Playing P4 ball. That'll do. Plenty of kids in America would love to be in your shoes. I don't think he's going to wind up at Oklahoma. And, yeah, Grayson said, hand up. Wouldn't we all love to play P4 football on scholarship? But, yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe Kyron Brown out there at Amarillo. I know Oklahoma. Emmett Jones has been running point in that recruitment, but there's been some discussion in that building in recent days as to maybe he's better suited for the defensive side of the ball. So that's a recruitment to watch, I'm telling you, regardless of whether Oklahoma ends up pushing for him as a wide receiver or as a safety. I like OU for Kyron Brown right now. All right, folks. That is all for this Thursday. We have one more show until the weekend coming up tomorrow. Right here, same time, same place here on the Ref Sports Radio Network. Shout out to Dorsey Jones GMC for sponsoring the show. And until tomorrow at 2 p.m., for Grayson Singleton, I am Parker Thune. Y'all have a fantastic Thursday evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy.
Football, you love it, we love it, you live it, we live it.